Welcome to Hospitality. I'm Stefan Zarnecki of Black Tie Tours. With me, as always, is Wesley Jones of Tour Cascadia and local artist Cole Rogers. And today, our guest has been around the Willamette Valley for quite some time. He's worked at Homaker, Lemelson, Rex Hill, Archery Summit, Adea, Apollini, and Laurel Ridge, and probably many others that you're not even telling me. And he is the reigning, defending, undisputed king of Laughlin Loop, Chris Berg of Roots Wine Company.
Thank you.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome, friend.
Thank you.
So happy to be at your beautiful vineyard, winery,
Thank you.
house, deck, all the above.
All of it.
Yeah,
It's a perfect day for it, too.
it's a beautiful
And
day.
below.
Thank you for picking this day out for us.
This worked out
I
well.
looked through my schedule and I spent years.
Well, we flew,
Cleaning days.
we all flew in and set up.
Yes, exactly. In my Cessna citation.
Well, we're glad you're rich, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It
No, it really is. The weather's perfect, and it's so gorgeous. The view.
I know.
Surprisingly, because it was shitty over in Sun Valley this morning when I was there.
It was nasty.
I wasn't
No, that
expecting
was
nice weather.
yesterday. No,
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Yeah. But we got a beautiful view.
So yeah, you get to wake up to this every morning. And right? Well,
when I wake up.
when
yeah.
you wake up.
Yeah.
So what's it like? You've been here on site since 2002, or you've planted in 2002,
No.
or no, you had your first wine in 2002, right?
Exactly.
Yes, but you planted in
Yes.
what 99 or something like that.
Yeah, because it takes a few years to get actual fruit off of the stuff.
Now, when did you guys
planted.
move out to live out here?
I moved out here from Portland in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, in the winter of.
So who planted the
which
vineyard?
was horrible time of year to move. I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, not by myself. That would
Well,
have been foolish.
You could have.
No, me and a few other people. Yeah, I could
Okay.
have made myself sound that like I'm like gung ho type guy, but no.
These hands.
Did you plant the whole vineyard
By
initially?
myself.
No. I mean, everything planted right now. Did you plant this many acres initially, or did you built?
It took a couple of years,
Okay.
but I did it by myself.
How many did you plant the first year?
By my own hands.
Oh, we figured that one out.
How and Captain Planet.
How many
Yes.
acres did you plant initially?
We planted about what was it? About 3 1/4 acres
Okay. Wow.
in '99, and then the remainder for just under 4 acres the next year in 2000.
Did you get
So,
better
yeah.
at it after doing it the first 3.5 acres? Was the second 4 a lot easier?
Yeah, we actually got vines that actually didn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that helped. Well, it was like initially we're just like in a rush. We're just like, oh, we got to put stuff in the ground. We need to get this done. So I go around. I'm like looking. Anybody got any vines? Anybody got any vines? You know, like looking around in the corners for like some
Goodwill.
good weed. You know, and
right.
you end up getting the ditch weed type stuff, and that's
All
not the stuff
seeds
you
and
want to get.
stems.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
totally, like Mexican brickweed. You know, that came in the
Smells
tire.
like hay.
It's awful. Oh God,
The worst.
nasty
Hay weed,
stuff.
dude.
But
Don't
now
do
that
drugs,
weed's
kids.
legal here in Oregon, you're getting the kind bud.
No hayweed left.
No hayweed.
Right.
No. So anyway, so we got some ditchweed plants
Okay.
that basically, you know, the grafts were horrible. And I had some friends help me out here, like a guy Aaron Lieberman, who's now down in Iris Hill. Great dude. And Russ Gladhart, whose family has Winters Hill. And they were helping me put in the vineyard initially. And I just couldn't find, like Duarte, I couldn't get vines from them. It took like a couple weeks to get vines from them. A couple of years to get vines from them. So I ended up finding vines that they fit the bill. I mean, but the death rate on them mortality rate was pretty high, over 10%. So
But once they're established, they're like anything else, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's all-
they're really nice vines now, but it took, you know, after replacing them like 5 or 6 times,
Yikes.
Wow.
sort of like ugh. So at the end of it, I owed him some money. He owed me plants. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't want any more of your plants. We'll just wash here. We'll just move on to each other in separate ways. And, you know, it's fine. But then the next year, the vines I got from Duarte that I had to order a year in advance. Those came in, and those have been really good. And so, anyway, fast forward to today.
Yeah, you got
20
Pinot,
years
you got
now.
Pinot. You've got Pinot. What else do you have on site here?
Pinot Gris.
Yeah.
You know what that Gris stuff is?
Pinot grass.
Grassy grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like gris, but it's gray.
Yeah.
So that's why they call it Gris.
Okay. So Pinot Noir, Pinot
Noir.
Gris,
Yeah.
Pinot Gris.
Mm-mm.
You don't get your
No, I don't
Chardonnay
get
on
the
site.
blank stuff. No, I don't
No.
mess with the blank.
And you had the winery. The winery you've been making your wine other places. What, Laurel Ridge, I think, was it for a
The
while.
first year was over at Antica back in 2002. That would have been the first vintage.
Yeah.
And we did merely 70 cases, 3 barrels off of that.
Yeah.
And then in 2005 helped out Alfredo and Lorraine to put in their winery up at Apolloni outside of Banks. And then in 2006 got an offer to make my wine closer to home and run the winery at Laurel Ridge. So then I moved over there and revamped that place. Resurrected their Bubbles program that was, for the longest time, Laurel Ridge was known as the best house for method champenois in all of Oregon for a long time. And then Argyle came around and took over the spotlight, and then Laurel Ridge had a winemaker that made some bad choices, and they didn't really follow through with it, and their reputation went downhill pretty quick as a result of it, unfortunately.
And you brought them back like the Rising Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that.
Rising Duck.
Or like a
confidence.
Thunderbird, an old Thunderbird. Yeah, something you really don't want to drink.
Sweet. And then
Just kidding.
this has only been your winery here has only been up. It has been erected. Gonna let that float out in the air.
I like
erected.
that.
No, it's only been erected for a couple years, right? This is your second. This will be
No.
your third vintage.
Many.
Many vintages here.
Since 2000.
Remember you building it? How long? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Few. 16, I think. I
Okay,
think this has
all right.
been, we've done
This'll be your-
3 vintages now. 4th, this will be coming on, I think.
Getting it all dialed.
Time flies.
I don't know.
You know where to
After
put
you
all
have
the
a kid,
hoses?
you sort of forget things.
It's all just
Yeah.
a blur.
It is. It's all about the kid. It's sort of like, how old are you now? Oh. What do you want? You want Pokemon? Okay.
You want a beer? You want? I mean,
No, he's too young for
not
that.
yet. But I mean, before too long.
Get in trouble for that.
Have you had the talk with him yet?
Not yet. He's not interested in that.
My kids weren't interested. You know what I did though?
What?
Took them to Ringside.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Buy a nice bottle of wine?
I drank wine. I drank enough
Needed it?
wine.
You needed it to have the
Yeah.
conversation.
No, I took both Zanabu and Aiden out to Ringside and said, "This is what we're doing," and I bribed
So,
them with
Aiden,
food.
did you have what would you have? Shirley Temple? Roy Rogers?
Probably root beer.
Root
Yeah.
beer is your choice?
I didn't love soda.
Daddy had
That's
a
good
little
stuff.
wine. I probably started with a little sparkling. And actually, I remember on Zanabu's very specifically, I had Walter Scott, Pinot, Meredith Mitchell, or something like that. I can't remember what
What'd
it
you
was.
pay for that?
By the glass?
Oh,
It
was
wasn't
by
too
the
bad.
glass?
It was 16 or something like
Oh,
that.
that's not
That's
bad.
reasonable.
For
Very
that wine,
reasonable.
yeah, for a great wine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it. So that's my recommendation. So when you get there,
If it's ever open again, we're gonna go. Let's bring it down. You just gonna go there and buy up all their leftover steaks?
oh hell yeah! No, they don't have any leftover steak. They already sold it. They sold out. They had a line going down
I know,
Burnside.
about like a mile long.
Yeah, and they had to have cops out there and
I would've
everything.
Definitely waited in line.
They
for
put
that.
out an
Yeah.
email. We're like, hey, we're
Yeah, but
selling
you
out
can
our
probably
meat.
get your
People were
steaks
like,
faster from Omaha Steak than going up there, though.
Probably.
it's an institution.
Yeah.
I fucking love Ringside. That is my mecca.
I'm just doing a plug for Omaha Steaks.
Why? Because it's close to Kansas.
I'm kidding.
Is it? I don't even know.
It is. Omaha's only I've driven up there a few times.
I guess Kansas.
It's only like 2.5, 3 hours. 3 hours at the most.
No,
From
it's
Lawrence?
all the Midwest. It's all just a big mush of corn.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Other than Lawrence,
That's
right?
bad
That is the
thinking.
bastion of culture, right?
It is. It's the oasis in the middle of the plains.
Where, of course, because my sister lives there.
Totally.
She made it such.
It's a good place.
So, talk to me. Tell me about your new project. You've been canning wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially Well, you started with canning just Pinot Noir, right? That was your first.
Well, I've always
project,
wanted to
right?
do canning, like, that Sofia Coppola shit. I really dig on it just for the sake. It's just like an adult soda pop.
Yeah.
I don't know how it actually tastes. I've never ever had one, but the concept of having like a can, like a single serving size can of bubbles, where somebody could have that and enjoy, just a glass of wine essentially.
Yeah.
And is just awesome. Instead of having to open a whole bottle of wine and feel the urge that, oh crap, I've got to get up early in the morning, or I only have time for one glass of wine or something like that.
Does my wife want to share it with me? If
Yeah.
She doesn't?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
We have to agree what kind of wine we want to drink. She wants white. I want red. Or...
Yeah.
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 I know
Well,
what you mean.
well, meanwhile though, you can just pop open a little can, and it's enough for one person to have, and or take it to a party, or take it to a picnic, or
Backpacking.
camping, or road soda. I'm not condoning that. I'm
yeah.
not saying that that's. But you know what I mean. Now we all do it.
Yeah.
We have.
Absolutely.
So you started canning wine because you wanted canned wine.
Yeah, and I think the idea of sparkling in cans is sort of a fun concept. Adult soda pop, like I said.
Yep.
And so you do something like that, and you do it on like we do a rosé of that. We do Sauv Blanc. We do a Paquette, which is sort of like a low alcohol sort of wine. In this case, our version is a Sauv Blanc that has been sort of in the process of that. We'll reconstitute the must after it's been pressed. Must is being the grape juice that is pressed from the skins.
Thank you.
And so I'm trying to make it easy.
Yeah, I'll put a graphic up.
And yeah, exactly. All videos and stuff like this. Maybe we'll have Aiden draw like shadow puppets and stuff of like paquettes and
Of
things.
must and like
Whatever.
punch down shit.
Anyway, we can get all into that. But anyhow, but I do like doing all these different versions of sparklings. And so, we've got our own little canning line, so we can do an experiment and do all these things. And right now we're also doing a sparkling Sauvignon Blanc CBD, which is not alcohol. There's no alcohol in it, because that's part of the whole. In Oregon here, there's the OLCC, which is the Oregon Liquor Control Commission. And this is also based upon the TTB, the Tax and Trade Bureau, which regulates our wine and alcohol regulations and laws. And so in this realm, we are not allowed to mix TTB. We're not allowed to mix CBD, I should say, with alcohol. So this is just Sauvignon Blanc juice,
Right. Grape juice.
non-fermented, no alcohol, zero alcohol, with some CBD, about 25 milligrams of
Sweet.
that. And so it's fun. It is like I keep going on about adult soda pop. It is an adult soda pop.
Can we do like an infomercial? Like saying how it like
Totes.
heals all your wounds and like
Oh my God.
come on,
You become brighter and smarter and all that stuff. And
Do you get like the slap chop guy?
slap chop.
Slap chop.
I was thinking more
Sham
like
wow.
My Pillow guy.
Oh, real
minus
greasy.
minus the crossy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not down. I mean, I'm not against it and everything. I mean, like whatever to whatever. But I'm not. Preachy
Okay.
thing. It's not me.
No.
But I'm getting
I think-
preachy, aren't I?
I think there's a
You're
funny.
preachy about not preaching.
Can we
You're
edit
preachy.
this stuff?
Oh yeah,
We can, we won't.
we won't edit anything out.
No.
Mm.
This is raw.
I think there's
raw
a funny
dog.
stigma.
Nice.
I think I remember years ago seeing on Shark Tank. There was a guy from Oregon, and he was selling wine. He had created sort of this like plastic
Oh,
looking wine glass
yeah,
cup
the
with
Copa
the
di Vino.
foil. Yep.
Yeah,
And they
It
told
was
him,
on Shark
and they
Tank.
basically told him no one wants wine out of anything but a wine glass.
that's bullshit. They ended up funding him.
I thought they all talked.
Oh, I think they funded him.
I think he walked away the first time at least. Maybe he went on a second time because I remember the final interview, him saying, "These guys don't understand. I've already made so much money on this," and he ended up getting either Whole Foods or we can.
We'll fact check it.
Maybe. Well, no,
Fact
I
check.
don't. I'm not one.
But
yeah,
but the reason I thought of it is because I remember
it was actually brilliant.
it is brilliant and part of the brilliance is that he knows at the end of the day the consumer doesn't really give a shit if 1% of difference in taste happens, whether it does or not. They don't really care because it's way more convenient It's like the opportunity cost of the lost glass is not enough.
Well, I think what it means. What I love the point you're going to, and
Sure.
it's awesome. It's a perfect tie-in. Thank you, Cole.
Well, I just
I'm
want to
fine,
point
thank
out I like that you're doing it.
I'm gonna have
because
some
it's like
Pinot.
who cares? It is good wine, and you can drink it out of a can still.
Okay, give it.
That's kind of what I was.
Okay,
trying
never
to,
mind.
What I'm
Okay.
trying to say, if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you 100,000,000%, and I think that's what's a perfect tie-in. Where I was going to go with the whole thing with the canning thing is,
Okay.
there is a need for alternative packaging.
Yes.
You know,
Obviously, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And transparency.
Taking over the
totally.
the whole
shelf-
thought
shelf
of
space.
we don't drink wine out of anything but
Right.
the Oregon wine glass. It's like
Right.
bullshit. I drink it out of a whiskey glass at home if I don't have a
Right.
wine glass.
Well,
Wine,
Well,
good
you're
wine is good
talking
wine.
too about barrier to entry for a lot of folks, right? Like, including myself in the industry. If I'm gonna go buy a bottle, like, there's nights I can't afford to drink super expensive, but I can go out and get a
100%.
fun, you know.
but you're going to
can
want
or
something
a
good.
split.
But you're going to want
But I
something
want
good
quality.
though.
I do want
Yeah,
quality.
you're not going to just drink like just shit just
No.
for the mere sake of just
No,
getting
but
screwed up.
so many of my friends that are
That's something you do
recently
in high
graduated,
school.
yeah, they'd still want something that they can have just one glass of by themselves
Right.
in their apartment on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally down with that. Because,
I love
I know I was getting into this whole thing. I'm like, okay, there is a need for something other than just the 750 format and the 375 bottle format.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I did the 3-liter bag in the boxes for a period of time, and I really championed it. I wanted to do it right, but then everybody else was just like, oh, well, it's got to be really cheap wine to be put into that. So it sort of total devaluated the whole quality level.
All right. To be continued.
Okay.
We need to take a little break, and we will be right back.
You guys good?
All right, and welcome back to Hospitality. Now is the time. Now is the time where we're going to do
Energy's
our
up.
top 5 about top 5 wineries for bubbles in Oregon. Now, our top 5 for this is going to be focused on wineries that you can go to taste. They always have at least one. Sometimes, most of the time, more than one.
Try to.
So that's kind of like our. There are a lot of wineries that do one.
us.
There's a lot of wineries that do
The
one.
token one.
Well, we'll get to that. So number 1, of course,
Argyle.
Roots. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank
You're last. You're on the
I
list.
am
This is
last.
not in order. This is not in
No, I
order.
don't care. It's not
the
that
name-
important.
That the name.
You should taste Argyle's or their
Gargoyle?
You could learn a few things, Chris.
Ooh, look at that. Whoa.
Just
Nice.
a little. Just a
yeah.
little. Here we go.
What? How do you
No,
say
Argyle is
commercial
on the
use?
list though. They're not.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the top one, but
Right.
Argyle is like a legitimate good place to get sparkling, and you can get how many? 5.
You can do a bubble
full
flight.
flight.
Like 5.
They've
I think it's
5
the
or
only
6.
place you can do an entire flight
Yeah.
of just
We
bubbles.
did a flight.
Except for
Except for
Roots.
Roots.
Yeah.
Just call in advance. I'm not going to just do it, whip it out every day.
Yeah. So yeah, you go to Argyle.
Type of guy.
Well, and people know the name. They can get Argyle.
Kind of known as the sparkling place. I mean,
A lot of people request it when they're out and they want to either end or start with bubbles, and they have some good ones. They have some ones that I like, and you can go and. But the most important thing is you can go in there anytime and you can get a full bubble flight. So bubbles fans, Argyle. It's hard to
Thanks, sir.
keep them off the list. What else we got, Cole?
we have
It's a good temperature.
Sokol Blosser is on the list. I tasted this one in a tasting with Winderly, but honestly, I would be lying if I said I remember all the characteristics of it. I know it's a really good
They
sparkling.
do some really nice stuff.
Yeah.
But they've got a few options. Again, it's one of the nice things.
Okay, I only tasted one of them, and it was at one point. I mean, this is a couple years ago, but
Yeah, so a lot of times
Good temp-
you'll walk right in and
fantastic.
they'll greet you with bubbles,
Cheers.
whether it's the Evolution Sparkling or the Bluebird. I think it's called the Bluebird.
Bluebird's
Yes.
the one that I had. Yeah,
That one's nice.
Good, and those are
delicious.
both affordable. Like the
Yeah.
Evolution, I think is like around $20, $20 to $22 or something
Yep.
like that, and the Bluebird I think is under 30. And then I know they have a Brut Rosé as well, and they might even have one more. I'm not sure, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember it was like 2011, when we had the really cool vintage.
Yeah.
It was I was getting calls from them. I was at Laurel Ridge at the time, and they were really gung ho on wanting to go full on bubbles and stuff
Nice.
and do a lot. I never really worked with them, but Alex and Allison have always been wanting to take it up a notch from where their mom and dad started.
Yeah.
And I know that they've worked really hard at doing that, and I've had the Bluebird before, and it's really, for the price point, I'm not going to diss Argyle, but I think it's better than Argyle's entry level and their price
I'd
point.
agree. Yeah.
At that price point that Argyle does it at, not saying that Argyle doesn't make good stuff. I mean, like, Nate makes some really nice bubbles, and the extended tirage stuff and the older stuff, and their Blanc de Blanc is always like really rock solid, like great examples of what Oregon can do with Method Champenois.
Yeah, I've always thought
Right,
the
Tito?
same thing. Good deal. When I go to Sockelblosser, oftentimes I'll walk out of there with a sixer of the Evolution or the Bluebird, just because I like having bubbles. I like having bubbles around.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I think about it, I've had the Evolution with you. That's
For
the yellow
sure.
yellow can.
Yeah.
DD. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Bluebird I remember because there's like kind of
There's a Bluebird on it.
like a lemony
Yeah.
taste to it.
Yeah.
Citrusy.
They probably put some lemon in it.
Yeah,
Lemons.
A little
fermented
squeeze.
with lemons.
Little
Yeah.
squeezy squeeze.
probably more
Sure.
Blanc de Blanc, more white grape.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, Trusatum.
Trusatum.
Yeah, you've had that.
I've had them. Yeah, they're good. I think the last time we were there, we tasted 2 or 3 of them on the flight.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
And I think to get them all, you probably have to call ahead, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
They have had like all white flights in the past and stuff, so I'm not sure if they lean bubbles that way. But just knowing that if you have, like some people in your group that want bubbles, you can go and I know you can taste it. Because what we run into a lot is people like, oh yeah, I like bubbles, and then you end up, there's a lot of places that have one. And if they say they like bubbles and then you take into a winery that has one, they're like,
Let
Yeah.
down.
hey,
Well, and often
cool.
the one that has one doesn't want to open a bottle of bubbles because they're like, we made a few cases of that, or we made a few barrels of that. Because if they only make one thing of bubbles, bubbles takes a lot of work, as we've kind of gone over. I guess maybe you could explain how much work bubbles takes, so people wondering why people don't make a lot of it.
Well, I guess it also depends on what sort of classification of bubbles are you
Sure.
looking at doing.
Well, if somebody wants to make a true champagne
if
style.
Method Champenois
Yeah.
in that case,
Yeah.
that's a lot more labor intensive, time consuming, cost prohibitive sort of wine to make, where you are exerting a lot more effort than your returns usually are. So from a cost standpoint, it's a lot more to undertake. So when you're going to go look that route, you got to look at basically how much are you going to want to make, what size of distribution do you have
Right.
for that, what is your price point.
Right.
I mean, I know these are all sort of geeky things for like the insider people to determine, but it ultimately will be the deciding factor upon wineries making one
Right.
or making a shit ton,
Right.
to get totally technical on it. That's what we're all
Well, and
about,
why?
is
And
technical.
it's good to understand why when you go to a place like we're talking about this with a group like that, why people will get frustrated and say, you can't open your bubbles. It's like, well, we don't make that many bubbles, and it costs so much labor-wise for us to make each bottle.
Right.
That to just open it and maybe let you try it and maybe buy it. It's not
Maybe.
like that.
Yeah.
So, like
Yeah.
Stefan's saying, when you want to go to somewhere, the ones we're talking about are going to offer you a selection of bubbles. They're going to not feel maybe as
Ideally,
taken aback with babies
Right.
and asking to taste it.
Right.
Because they're kind of known for bubbles themselves.
yeah.
Back to the list. Our fourth spot, of course, is Roots. I love bringing people here for bubbles. Usually I'll request ahead. Summertime,
Thank
but
you.
oftentimes you'll just have a bubbles flight that you
Yeah,
can.
well,
if
it's-
you have enough kind of like volume, people coming through.
It's definitely great to have a call ahead sort of situation, because we've run into a little bit of a, the popularity of bubbles have gone up substantially in the Willamette Valley over the past few years, which is beautiful to see. And we have not been able to keep up with that production. So our production is sort of limited, but we do have bubbles. But if we know in advance that this is what you're looking at wanting to do, we'll definitely cater towards you. We're not stupid. Come on. It's not like we're going to be like, no. We're only going to cater to these clientele.
Okay, but some people literally do that. So.
Well, I know. Well,
but they are stupid.
I don't know if they're stupid. It's just that's their business model, and that's what
Their business model.
they want to do.
Their business model is annoying. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what are all the bubbles that you make?
Rosé. I do a Sauvignon Blanc bubbles. But those both are more like when we were talking about initially about like different types of bubbles. There's the Method Champenois style, which is
Labor intensive,
traditional,
and,
yeah.
Right.
Traditional. And then the other ones that I just rattled off, the Rosé and the Sauvignon Blanc, those are both what we would call force carbonated sort of ones. Those are for like the everyday sort of purposes. It's like adult soda pop, going back to that.
It's less expensive.
Yeah,
more
it's easier
preferable.
to do. It creates a wine that you get the bubbles that you want, but it doesn't have the complexity potentially of, say, the Method Champenois, where it's been aged. It's been aged for like 3 years or so, and then disgorged, and then left on the lees, and all the extra tidbit to it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you got the two.
Yeah, there's
Forced
those two,
carbonation.
and then we
Yep.
usually have like a couple Method Champenois, or 3 of them we have at least, of between the Blanc de Blanc, the Blanc Noir, and the Brut. The Brut would be a mix between Blanc de Blanc being white grapes traditionally, and usually it's Chardonnay predominantly.
What else is
while
in there
Blanc
besides Chardonnay?
Noir. Which?
In the Blanc de Blanc, besides Chardonnay,
Yeah,
what would
it can
in there?
be. It can be Pinot Blanc, or it can be Pinot Gris, or it could be. I've seen even actually a Blanc de Blanc, but it's usually just Chardonnay. But I have seen somebody call a Blanc de Blanc with just a little bit of Riesling in it, which is. I'm fine with it personally. I'm not down with like it's got to be like 100% this or that sort of rigidity to the whole.
But you spit it in their fucking
labeling.
face. Like, what the? You are betraying all tradition. But like in Burgundy, or in Champagne, they would never put
That'd be sacrilege.
Riesling. Or,
Well, they can't.
Yeah,
They
okay,
don't
so
grow
there you go.
Riesling there.
Yeah.
But they do. I think there are a
Smollen.
few vineyards that there is a little bit of Pinot Blanc mixed in there, and then there's another white grape too. I can't remember what it is. It's not Auxerrois. It's something else. But anyways, that's something I've got to go look through my books to go research again. But anyway,
Yeah. And then you've done Malone.
yeah,
you still do that
sparkling Milan too.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, we'll resurrect that again when I find a better source for fruit. And I've got fruit coming up here. Take about. It won't be this year's harvest. Maybe next year's. We'll get some fruit from that.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of the sparkling Sauvignon Blanc.
Thank
The
you.
little cans, these little guys. That's just like a
They're fun.
summertime. I always try and keep some in the fridge. It's a winner, but I've enjoyed all of your bubbles. So bravo.
Thanks, bro.
So those are 4 places. We don't have a real top 5. Those are 4 places that you can go. You can almost always get 2 or more sparkling, especially if you call ahead. Now, in place of a 5th one, I'll pick kind of a favorite. Single bottling. So these are wineries that make maybe 1 sparkling, but it's dynamite, and it's really, really worth discussing. And you'll sometimes get it in a flight, but oftentimes not. But know that if you go see it on a shelf or whatever, that it's going to be good. My one that I want to add on there that I want to have as an honorable mention, or whatever you want to call it, is the Native Flora sparkling. Oh, I think Cuvée Lucier, something like that. I love it. I think it's really good. Scott does a nice job. It's not too. I don't like the really yeasty kinds of sparklings, and I think he uses actually a little Pinot Blanc in there, and it's a tasty one. So that's mine. What do you guys? What do you guys think?
Mine's probably going to be the Brut Rosé right now at Grand Moraine. I think Shane's doing a great job with that project.
Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
If you can be.
Oh my god.
Feel special. You're like one of the boys.
I don't know. I mean, I like beer.
You-
No, as far as method
Champagne of beers?
You mean like method champenois?
Yeah. Who's got good sparkling out there you like?
Oh God.
Go,
I
that's
mean,
yummy.
J.K. Carrier's was good when he did it. I don't know if he's following up still,
Yeah.
but his price point was a little bit on the higher side, but it was very limited, very small. He was focusing on that whole pretense of it. I think Raptor does a really good job, Raptor Ridge, with
fair
their bubbles as well. Other than that, Enemy, I think what Thomas is doing, he's
It's been at it for a while.
and he's very focused on the white varietals, on the I don't want this to sound like very like race war oriented between white and darker sort of varietals. I mean, I hate sounding like that, but I mean his take on like Mueller Thurgau and some of the other like Rieslings and Pinot Blanc, and he does a fantastic. That's probably what I like the most from him is he does a sparkling like Pinot Meunier, which is a traditionally grape that's grown in the Champagne region that is totally under-championed.
That's a
Which-
red grape.
It's a red
Yeah,
grape,
okay, so you
yeah.
just-
So sorry I got off track of the other thing, but anyway, it's phenomenal. I think Pinot Meunier is totally underrepresented.
Yeah, there's not much of it
in
around here.
Oregon. Yeah.
I think Flaneur has one. I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah, there's not much.
Yeah, definitely.
Cole?
Nice to see more of it.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I'll say the RSM from Roots.
Roots? Rocco?
From Rocco.
Rococo.
Roland has been making champagne for a really long, or making sparkling for a really long time. I like that one. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had some other favorites. Like you said, you did that little tasting with Robert. And
Yeah, the Kramer sparkling was really good that I had. Again, this is a while back, but Robert Britton, I got to taste through a few different interesting sparklings with him. Also, the sparkling Riesling from Brooks is really interesting.
Is it completely dry? Or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
I
dry
like
and very metallic-y kind of.
The sect. Yeah. The German
intense,
Riesling
but
method
good.
champenois are awesome. So good.
Yeah. It could
Totally
burn like some sort of enamel off your teeth, probably. But,
Oh,
the
yeah.
acidity.
but it was good.
Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds great.
They're super fun.
Other good ones.
Soder's sparkling rosé is really
Yeah,
good too.
Soder's is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They greet you with it, or they greet you with the regular rosé.
Sparkling. Usually.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That one's a good
Refreshing.
one. The Evening Land, of course.
Right.
Never had Evening Lands.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Really? When did they start doing that? Tell me
It's
a
been
little
on the
more.
flight for
Tell me
a
more.
year and a half or more.
Yeah. And I like the Domaine Divio. They just released their first sparkling. Now, there's somebody locally
Bruno?
who's doing a sparkling, like
Please.
doing a sparkling for people, right? You've
Who's
heard
the
about this,
Who's the
Chris?
dude?
Wait, what?
There's somebody who's doing
Andrew
sparkling.
Davis?
Andrew
it?
Davis. That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tall, lanky guy.
Actually, it's funny. That was a nice lead-in on Evening Lands because his wife, Isabel Munier, was the winemaker and all that for Evening Lands, and I remember her back in 2007 when Evening Lands was just impetus, just sort of beginning thoughts and stuff with Mark Tarlov, who is the sort of the guy behind it, pulling the strings and everything.
Oh yeah.
The Barker.
He's
He
the heart and the love behind every.
he
project
was-
puts
who?
together.
Mark?
Tarlow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got such a great philosophy.
He's an interesting cat. I mean, I remember meeting him with
Interesting
Sashi Mormon and Isabel. They were coming out, sort of taking a look at different facilities. And in 2007, they came over and looked at Laurel Ridge, and they were going to make wine at another facility. And they liked the space and everything, and that there was enough room for them. And they're like, well, you know, what if we did all our production here? It's like, all right, sure. Yeah. So they did all their production in 2007 there, and it worked out nicely. They were very nice. Dominique seemed nice and all.
Yeah.
And It was cool, but I never knew that they were doing bubble. They didn't do bubbles at that time.
Well, speaking of Tarloff and Tarloff projects and bubbles,
I got to work for him.
yeah, you got to work for him and sold.
Oh, were you
I
at?
started up I went
Chapter
from
24?
Chapter 24, and then I got hired on to help start up the Lit project, and I managed that tasting room. And I mean, I tried to help. It was
Yeah,
weird
how
because
was
they
that?
hired me on, sort of to. I was working at Purple Hands at the time, and they gave me a huge pay bump, and they sort of expressed to me, "Hey, we really want you to like." Just give us everything you have. We want you to redo the Facebook, redo everything. We
Wow,
want
sounds
you to
like
sort
a conversation for later.
yeah.
No. This is Haas brutality. This is not a Haas.
Right.
Haas.
Brutality.
But yeah, it was.
Haas smooth it over. No.
But what they ended up doing was hiring me into a tasting room where there was a tasting room manager who didn't ever know that I was coming in to be her boss, and I basically she was sort of under the impression that she was getting tasting room help. And I was getting the impression I was going to manage tasting room, and then sort of. So we just were both like, okay, that was,
It's awkward.
yeah. And I never got insurance. It was a mess.
No.
But they've got the reason we're bringing it up.
They have an amazing Grand Cru champagne.
Yeah,
and
the
they
Grand Cru. So
import
if you
it.
want to go taste the Grand Cru champagne, if they have it,
At an affordable price.
yeah,
35
it's like
bucks, I think.
$35, $38.
$35?
They sell
Yeah,
out of it.
really?
It's amazing. I mean, it really is an amazing
So are they
champagne.
buying already built stuff and just relabeling it?
All
for
right, we
themselves?
gotta.
Yeah.
We're up to it here, so we will be right back.
Cheers.
All right, welcome back to Hospitality. Now is the segment where we discuss what's been brutal and what's been beautiful here in the Willamette Valley. And for what's been brutal, we're going to go back to COVID a little bit. And we talked about a winery that was doing it really well last week. And then one that was Alexana, Charles.
What did they do?
Charles is just so...
Who's Charles first? of all?
Charles Hessen.
Hassan?
Chuck goes by Chuck. They've just been killing it over there, like in terms of making everybody feel like at ease.
Oh, is he like the
He's like the tasting room
manager?
lead manager.
Yeah.
Doing a great job.
Oh, good.
Consummate host.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
What,
guy.
how so? Because I'd like to
You
take
didn't.
some tips.
You obviously didn't watch the whole episode from last week where we went all into.
It's a fine balance of comfort
Sorry.
and knowing that people are nervous. So acknowledging that there's something going on and that people are going to be nervous, so not throwing all the rules out the window, but also making it enjoyable and making it like fun, and people can relax because they know stuff's clean and safe. That's kind of, I think, the vibe they're getting at Alex on it.
And that's not happening everywhere. So some places you're walking in, it's like this instant tension. It's just like, okay, we need you to put on a mask. Like I did this. I did a tasting. What was it called? The Toomey tasting up at Prince Hill. The new guys in town from Silver Oak. God, this guy up from California, he was so uptight, just like tension, like, and it's happened at a couple other places. DVO's having a problem with it. Stoller is the one though that has been brutal, and they're such a big place, and they have typically had really good customer service. Like I've been pretty happy for a big winery with Stoller's overall service. During COVID, it's been a disaster, an absolute disaster. You pull up, there's like a tent where someone greets you. And it's like, okay, whatever. And they say, you get the give them your name. Oh, they find the reservation. They say, okay, you've got to go up to the parking lot and park, and you're going to get a text when they'll let you in. Okay, you go up, you park, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And we've done this a few times since COVID, and it's like 15, 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, and one of the
Oh,
times
come on,
my driver had to actually go up to the door.
You had an appointed time. You had an
This is-
appointed time?
Oh yeah. You're
But-
on the reservation sheet.
Well, that's their
For a 1:30
deal.
reservation, you show up,
At
and it's 1:30 or 1:25
right?
or whatever.
And they make you wait
And
until...
they make you wait till 1:45, 1:50.
No.
Right. That's the problem.
This
You're off.
is not like some restaurant where they're going to want to grease you to try to get like an extra couple hundred
drinks at the
bucks out of
bar.
you.
or-
Yeah, no.
No,
You're literally sitting in your car waiting
I'm
for them
sorry,
to come out
that's
and tell you
not
to come in.
cool.
It's sitting in. Yeah, you're sitting in your car. It puts the whole day off. It sucks. They got to figure that out.
If you don't have a
They're not doing
tasting
good
that's
enough job.
enjoyable, then don't have a tasting at all.
Well, and if you have that much space, fucking
You do
figure
have
it
that
out.
much
You got
Yeah.
social distancing.
I'm
Like-
working in a tasting room that has a fifth of that space.
Right.
And
figure it out.
as soon as you're there, we know your reservation's coming, the table's set.
Of 1/1000 of
Right.
that
But you're
space.
not going to tell people.
Dude, we
know
got a
someone's
thimble
coming. You're
to
ready
the
for it.
size of
Right.
Stoller's
Right.
place.
Well, this is the whole theme of the whole COVID thing and people's responses. There's a lot of people talking to other people as if they're not adults,
Yeah.
which I respect your decision to want to
Well-
sleep in a plastic bag and wear a mask everywhere you go, and that's fine. I'm wearing a mask every time I go anywhere public. However, to say you shouldn't do that, that's dangerous. It's like, fuck you. I know it's dangerous. I get in my car and drive every day. There's so the places that want to be open, there's a certain amount of saying we're all acknowledging there's danger in the air, but we're also acknowledging you're adults, and if we're going to be open, we're not going to treat you like children.
Right.
And that's what they're doing, is treating you like kids who don't understand how to wash your own hands. And it's like, we've decided that this is the rules. We're going to put all these walls up. And
I mean, even within that, though, it's
If
just a
you're
total,
hospital-
it's a lack of preparation,
Right.
right? If you
Yeah.
know you have a 1:30 appointment,
Right.
you've turned that table, you've sanitized, you've created your walking
be prepared.
channels, you request a mask at the door, and you seat people at 1:30.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, I know they have a larger volume, and I guess they feel the need and to have a more elaborate system or something because they have so many people going through there. But they can do better.
I think if your business is hospitality, you should be able to have a better experience at Stoller than you do at like the doctor's office, which is where I work. And I guarantee you people have had a better experience, just pure customer service.
Yeah.
Because you feel safe. If you're going to somewhere to have a good time, which is specifically why you go to a winery, hopefully you get good customer service. And a great example of how COVID, how the modern hospitality looks when this is happening.
Right.
Unfortunately, you get this like, oh shit, is this how the world's going to be?
Yeah.
And that's not a good feeling,
Yeah, it's been kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's been a little bit brutal, and frankly, I'm just not going to take people to Stoller as much because of it until maybe after COVID's over. But go to Alexana some more because of Charles. Beautiful.
Antica Terra is doing their tastings out at Keeler Estate. So Keeler has
Right.
a couple hundred acres. It's a beautiful property, but they built this platform deck overlooking their vineyard site. Antica Terra has a vineyard site that borders Keeler, so that's where
Right.
that makes sense for them. You're looking over a portion of their vineyard site. But you drive up through these majestic white oaks. They're part of that Oregon White Oak Rehabilitation Program, the White Oak Accord. But you meet and you sit up looking out over this gorgeous vineyard space. The tables are far enough away to be comfortable. But it's just so well done. And their entry-level tastings are $35.
Praise
person,
Jesus.
Right? Like, you can do that. You can do the $90 tasting where they have a chef pairing, and they're doing...
At the winery. Still.
on
you
site
can do
out
the
there.
$90 deal at the.
You
at the
can.
vineyard. Oh,
They
wow.
only have a handful of them a day.
That's fantastic. Though.
That can't be easy offsite.
It's adapting to overcome.
Right. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a fantastic
Yeah.
job. And I love Maggie's wines, so...
The amount of work they have to put
Yeah.
into that is insane, I bet.
Well,
Yeah.
it's nice that they actually have a tasting experience that is as beautiful
Right.
as the wines.
Yes.
The wines are beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and
And-
their hospitality team is incredible, too, as far as telling a story of a wine. And, like, it felt like you were sitting with a romance novel writer. Their staff was so... Like,
Okay,
the
now I
story
gotta
of
check them out.
Maggie, the story of the wines, verbiage that I'm probably not
puppet
capable of.
show.
Yeah, it was great. I was tickled.
Check that out.
I was tickled deeply.
Cool. And our last beautiful thing, we had our first annual Wine Country Pride Parade,
Yes, sir.
and it happened in downtown Newburgh. Did a route. Unfortunately, I was out of town. It was like right in my neighborhood, our neighborhood. I was out of town. I was in California when it happened. Otherwise, I would have enjoyed watching that. But yeah, they did the dressed up some cars and marched and did it, and it was like it was cool. I hope that keeps going, and I think there's a lot of good representation of the LGBTQ community in Oregon wine
Right.
country. So it's cool to kind of see them get out and show the pride.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually work towards becoming a more inclusive space.
Right.
Yeah.
Newburgh is so
Imagine
inclusive
that.
already.
Yeah.
It is interesting how many people, though, it's a lot of people that are scared to, in the communities like Newburgh, small towns that are, it's like, they're now old enough to be like, oh, I can just be myself, It's weird, being in a community
It's
where
come a long way.
old people just are it's like this is the way you live your life, you know. And there's this framework to it.
Yeah. Well, they happen to do like a loop around Newburgh Friends Church,
Oh,
conveniently.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
I do
You
too.
know, it's Yamhill County where we sat, or seated, is an interesting sort of area where, you know, things come a little bit slower. It's pretty entrenched in things not changing at all, but and I understand that, and I
It's
get
slow.
it, and it's totally,
Slow
and
change.
I'm totally
Step
cool
change.
with that to an extent. But there's
Yeah, I agree
certain
with that.
aspects where it's like, if it doesn't affect you, then why do you need to make it about you? You know, like if
I'm outraged.
if people want to be with each other and they happen to be the same sort of gender and whatnot, why does it matter? Why does it matter to you? Why? It shouldn't, because it's not affecting you at all. It's that person is not going to go rub themselves up on you.
the
at
same
all.
reason it
I mean,
matters.
they're not going to be
It's
like,
the same reason why it matters that I found out the right God and your God is gonna make you're gonna end up in hell.
no, but
It's just
that's,
that I want you to be
but
okay.
that's not true though,
Well,
because
exactly, but that's what they think in their
But-
mind.
whatever I believe in, what I want to do doesn't affect you, shouldn't affect you, and
Jesus.
but I don't care what religion it is. It doesn't matter.
That's why they're bitching about
Well,
it.
but it doesn't
because
matter.
they're afraid that.
But why does it
That it's
matter?
going to be accepted that all these people.
You think that's why?
Oh, Cole was raised in the church.
I
You
raised
know,
in the church.
there's a lot of-
I guarantee you that's why.
No,
Because
it's just- and it's-
I
But even
personally, and
then-
I'm not gonna name him on this podcast,
Oh, we
but
got
I personally
time
know
for
a
this
guy
shit.
that's gay
hours on
and
this.
he's married.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's still though, I sort of see it, but I don't see it. I think when it comes down to it, it should be just about like what I like to do with my own beliefs and body and whatever this realm here. If it doesn't affect you or whoever,
I would
Right.
like
their
it to affect
own-
me, Chris. I would like
well,
your
then that's your
region to
own.
affect me.
That's your own.
Yeah,
Dude, it affects
realm.
me from right here with pants on.
yeah.
Booyah!
I think you might have actually impregnated me.
These
with
are
your-
Royal
with your
Roberts.
handsome-
They're
You're
nice
right,
pants.
though.
They're good pants too.
They amplify.
Yes.
Yeah.
The point,
But
the
no,
point
but
is, the point
can
is,
see your
if you're
bulge.
raised in a church, which
Shut your
most
cake
of
hole.
Newburgh is.
Douche.
Newburgh's a very religious community.
Love it.
If you're raised in that community,
That's
your mindset
definitely
is
getting got.
you're told go save
What?
people's lives. That's what church people do.
Right.
Well, I
Go-
mean, but
Don't let them live in agony. Don't let them
Well,
go
I know,
to hell.
I know, and same with the Mormons, and same with the Methodists, same with the
And
same with
politics
the-
are
and
religion
whoever.
now. Politics are the new religion.
Well, no, politics have always been in the
but
religion
there's,
since
because
like,
the death
Roman
of religion,
Catholic
politics
days.
is now more religious
Well,
than ever.
Well, yeah, that is. It's been amplified, I'd say.
I mean, I think the Crusades were
but-
pretty amplified.
Oh,
I think we're
yeah.
probably
They
like
were.
in
Except
the
for
same.
the Christian Crusades or
know,
the Children Crusades.
Right.
That was sort of a slaughter going on. It's like you can't send like tens of thousands of kids out there to like to fucking
Interesting
like,
strategy.
you know, like, yeah, totally.
I'd like to
It's
select
like,
some
what if
kids.
they
If I
paid
was
off?
a teacher,
oh,
I'd
yeah,
say
yeah.
that kid
Oh,
can
th-
go.
there-
What if it
there-
had
there was
worked?
also-
War.
Yeah, and then there was
And then
the,
they just send kids at the
Trevor,
Spartans
fuck
to-
you. Go to war. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know many good Trevors.
or the peasants.
We need a really
Peasant
good
up
lawyer for this segment.
Trevors. I'm not saying last names. Don't name your kid Trevor because he's going to turn out to be an asshole.
Jesus, man.
Well,
or
that's not
Terra.
always. Chads are always up there too.
Chad is the best douchebag name ever.
That's Chad. Yeah,
It's up there.
it always comes
It
back
is-
to Chad.
Chad, dude. And I know
Well,
a
Well,
guy
there's
named Chad
that.
who's
What,
super
what's
nice,
that?
But
What's the latest Ken and Karen thing?
Karen's
Oh,
the
Karen.
racist
The
white
ones-
woman.
Oh yeah, but then there was
Sure.
Ken though. It was Ken.
Can and care with the guns on their
Yeah,
porch
yeah,
and
yeah,
trying
totally.
to like ward
Yeah.
off the.
Khakis,
All right, we gotta
tuxedos.
move on to
Where?
our last
Where are we
segment.
moving to?
Story. No, well, okay, we're gonna move on
Oh,
figuratively,
Oh yeah.
not literally.
Yeah.
In the pod.
To story time.
Methodologically.
Story time with Cole. Cole, we've got about 6
Story
minutes. Take it
time
away.
I have a
with
quick story.
Cole.
All right, quick story. Story
Okay.
time with Cole.
Yeah,
College.
you gotta have a song to go with that.
Jingle.
So in college, I didn't have much money like most people, and I saved up all this money to buy this onyx bracelet. I don't know why I thought that was so important to buy, but I wanted to look cool. So I had just gotten done like lifting weights And I get home from we had like a team thing with the football team, and I'm feeling all pumped up, and I'm gonna go like longboarding, and I throw on this Onyx brand new bracelet that I bought, which I'm like, okay,
And no shirt.
I'm about to be pumped up, right? Skating through campus. I got
Oh.
this sweet looking bracelet,
Bitches are gonna be
some new board
hanging on
shorts.
you.
You're showing off your Jesus tattoo?
I mean,
I had
the
my Jesus
sweet,
tattoo out.
Sweet young ladies.
It was wide. It was right out there for them to see. So this is my brain thinking this. So I leave my house, and I'm like, cruising, feeling super sweet. And I get to the perfect place, middle of campus. It's a hot day, so all the girls are out in their bathing suits, like tanning.
Yeah.
And so I'm cruising by like this enormous group of girls in my class. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this chick wants me. I don't know which one, but one of them's probably just talking about me right now.
Yeah.
And so I like quick glance over at him and like nod. And I turn back, and there's a curb, and like a tree with like a planter box planted around it and a curb around it, 3 feet from my board. And I don't know, like I was obviously thinking I was gonna steer.
Wait, yeah.
So I turn, hit it, barely miss the tree, and I land like over the top of the planter box, smash my hands against the concrete course, and this brand new bracelet, which I paid like $225 for,
For the Onyx.
shatters
The Onyx one.
on an Onyx bracelet.
It was fucking hot too.
Dude, it looks so
fucking
sexy.
So cool.
shatters into all over the pavement, and I like pick myself up, and I go to start picking up the pieces, and I'm like, fuck it. And I just get on my board. I don't even look back. I get on my board and just take off.
Yeah, you've been so deflated right
Oh,
there.
Man,
man.
those chicks had to have been loving that.
They did.
Did you
I
go back
talked to
like
them about it
2
actually
hours
later.
later to
Yeah.
find the pieces?
Did you
or
get
no?
a date?
No, I didn't. I don't think I got a date out of that, but it was really funny when I talked to the girls about it, and I felt like a complete douche. I felt like an asshole. I was I was trying so hard,
Oh, reality
and when you
hits.
try hard, you die hard.
Yeah.
Bam. It's a little bit
Moral
that.
of the story, guys.
Love it.
I like it. We're gonna end on that note. If you try hard, you die hard. As always,
like Kanye West says.
Yeah. Oh God, damn it. Never mind. I unquote myself. I just unsaid that. We'll edit that out. All right. Once again, we are Hospitality. I'm Stefan Zarnecki of Black Tie Tours. Wesley Jones, Tour Cascadia. Cole Rogers, local artist, and thank you, Chris Berg, for having us
Peace.
up at the winery.
Artists as well.
Love you, brother.
Love you.
We will see you next time.